Rock.
First of all, what made you want to make the jump to the NFL after such a long career in college? And then second of all, what are the differences in coaching college players? You've obviously coached a lot of very talented ones, and coaching an NFL player where now with Saquon, you're coaching, again, a very talented one, but one who's a little further along in his career.
Right. Well, as far as the first question about making a jump, I think the situation, created itself for me. I had a relationship with Joe Judge. And, as you go through your coaching career, you just start coaching. And, I think in the beginning of your career, you kind of have ambitions to do certain things. One of my longtime ambitions was to coach the NFL. But as you go through your career, you just kind of, you wake up from year to year and just do what you're supposed to do what you do at wherever you're at. So, but I think his biggest part was Joe Judge giving me an opportunity. And that's something that I wanted to do just personally to be in the NFL, but also knowing Joe's personality and our relationship, it was kind of like I wanted to come and see if I could help him do his thing, All right, the second one, as far as the differences between the college and the pro athlete, well, the way I've always looked at it is that, players are players. I know they're at different levels, but the one ingredient that most really good players have, they are very competitive. They have a competitive nature. So as far as coaching those guys, they always have a desire to continue to develop. So, and I've seen that, and since I've been here with Saquon, he's got a competitive nature, and the guy's always interested in developing, his craft to the next level. So my approach has not changed with that because it's all about development. I think football in general is a developmental sport.
Zach?
Hey, Burn. I know you hadn't actually coached the running back position in a couple of years at Alabama. So was the chance to coach Saquon a factor in your decision to come to the Giants too? Just a special guy like that. And then what has been your impression of him?
Yeah, it was. It didn't hit me at first. First it was Joe calling me, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, man!" Well, here's this situation that I got to make a decision on. And then it didn't take me long to make a decision. I promise you that. But then I realized have an opportunity to not only coach Saquon, but some pro football players. I think we got a couple other good guys on the team in a position. Wayne and then Dion came along. I think Eli Penny has got he's got special talents as a dual player, as a fullback, running back type. But yeah, just that opportunity to coach guys on a professional level. And I got to tell you, got some encouragement for some different guys that's coached pro ball, and I leaned on them for some assistance as far as making the decision. So it just happened,
Thanks.
And Burton, you talked a little bit about your relationship with Joe, and wanting to come to New York and help him. When you look at Joe, what makes you believe that he'll be a successful head coach? And just your thoughts on, this whole unique circumstance, this particular season and how he's handled it.
Well, first of all, I always thought when Joe was with us years ago, he was very bright, very articulate, very dutiful and doing the assignments that he had on our staff. So I respected him from that right there. But the other thing about Joe, I always knew he was organized. And especially in this situation that we are now, it takes an organized person to navigate through all the challenges that we have to face day to day. So, and I'm not surprised by the way he's handled it. He's very meticulous about, doing the little things, despite the big picture that's going on now. So, it's kind of like Joe's always been, very good at organizing things like A, B, C. We're going to do this and we're going to do that next. We're going to do this first in order for the next one to work. And I think that's what we're doing here, in this situation.
Thank you. Pat Leonard.
Hey, Burton, you mentioned Eli Penny. what can he be for your team and your running back room? You know, what has he been already as far as not only a veteran, but kind of what he can do on the field and his versatility there?
First of all, Eli's got a great personality. He's infectious throughout the team. I think guys look up to him. You know, he's a go-getter. He's got this attitude, I'll do whatever it takes. You know, so he's got a unique ability that, you know, he's primarily a fullback, if you will. But as you noticed last year, he was able to get in some one-back opportunities and do some of those things, you know. But I think the biggest thing with Eli, he's got great leadership qualities. And, you know, he's got a great personality. And the whole locker room loves Eli, you know, just because of his attitude and his desire to do the right thing in order for us to be successful.
Thanks.
We're going to take two more, Duggan and Patty. Duggan?
Hey, Burton. You obviously came to Alabama when Nick Saban got hired there. I'm curious, do you see any similarities from the way Nick runs his program and what you've been around with Joe with the Giants here?
Yeah, I think, you know, both of those guys are very organized. And there's certain steps that you got to take, you know, the first year when you're trying to build a program or rebuild a program. And, you know, I see Joe basically, you know, taking those same steps. I remember I went with Nick in 2007, and it's like deja vu, you know, like, you know, and it's not just because Joe is copying Nick, but that's how good football coaches that's organized, you know, create a different environment for a brand new team.
Thanks.
Last question here, Patty.
Hi, Coach. Thanks for doing this, and it's nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you.
Thank you. Looking back over your history, you've worked and developed some really impressive running backs in your coaching career on the college level. Now, I know running backs, they come in all different shapes and flavors and sizes and whatnot. I'm just wondering, what's the one common thing you have found that every good running back either has or ultimately develops for success?
Well, first of all, these guys were blessed with some physical ability, of course, you know. Then I think the other thing is, I mentioned it earlier, that by nature, they're very competitive. They want to be better than everybody thinks they are, you know. So they're willing to put the extra time in, both physically and mentally, to try different things. You know, they always want to, all right, how can I do this better? You know, what about this? What about that? So the one ingredient in a really good running back, as well as a good football player, is that desire to continue to get better. And I think that's been a common theme in all those guys.
And then finally, if I could just ask you real quick about Wayne Gallman. He's a guy who kind of disappeared off the radar last year. I know you weren't here last year, but can you just tell us what you see in Wayne Gallman so far?
Well, I see a guy that's coming to work every day, that's working really hard. You know, again, he's very interested in improving. And, you know, I kind of had a history with Wayne as far as we competed against his team in college, you know. So I kind of followed his career, and I knew him a little. But his personality is like all the players that I've coached, you know. It's like he's got his competitive nature. I know I'm overusing that word, but it's, you know, that's what keeps coming out. And he's also, you know, a guy that, like, what can I do to get better, you know? And you know, I know it's college level to pro level, but one thing about all those guys like that, it don't matter, you know. They're looking for that next step that they could take.